Oh,
okay.
Who broke the thing?
Me.
Oh.
Okay. So the Gemara says, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're starting Daf Yud Gimel. Says the Gemara was discussing the machloka between Rabbi Yehuda and between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi. You had a Kohen Gadol, and they had to he was pasul, so they put a substitute in, and then the original Kohen Gadol comes back. What do we do with the substitute? Rabbi Meir says he stays a Kohen Gadol. All the mitzvot of Kiuna Gedolah apply to him, and if he wants to be Oved, he's Oved b'shmona begadim. Rabbi Yossi says, En roi liyo lo Kohen Gadol, velo Kohen Edyo. Kohen Gadol mishum eva, and Kohen Edyo mishum ma'alim b'kodesh velo moridim. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, halacha ke Rabbi Yossi. The halacha is like Rabbi Yossi, that he can't be Kohen Gadol again because of eva, and we don't take him down mishum ma'alim b'kodesh velo moridim. Umodeh Rabbi Yossi, Shem avar ve'avad avodato keshera. Meaning, Rabbi Yossi holds technically he is a Kohen Gadol, and if he was Oved b'shmona begadim, the avodah is kasher. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Marav, halacha ke Rabbi Yossi. The halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. Umodeh Rabbi Yossi she'emet rishon she'chozel avodato. That when the first guy dies, he can be Kohen Gadol again. Pshita, why not? Technically, he's been the Kohen Gadol the whole time. I might say because he was like opposed to him when he was alive. He can't go back to be a Kohen Gadol. Ashmalan, that we don't say that.
That's a disqualifying factor. Jealous.
What's that concept?
He was like his rival. It's not nice to put up the rival.
He was Kohen Gadol first, no?
No, the second, A was Kohen Gadol.
Yeah.
A had a problem.
Good.
So B came in.
Good. B died.
No. Now A got better. So they put A back. When they put A back, B goes off.
Right.
Now, why can't B come back? Because A is jealous of B. If B is going to be Oved, he's what's it called?
Right.
So that says when A dies, you put B in. Why? What's the question? Why not? The reason he was opposed to. He was like jealous of him in his life. Maybe it's like you're putting his opponent.
Since when does opponents ruin something anyway? Why would it ruin it?
As opposed to it being going to his son, maybe?
I don't know if that's the case.
Maybe his son wants it.
The first guy's son should get it first. That's not what the Gemara says. Let's see the Rambam. You want to bring a Rambam? Looks like it's in
Yom Kippurim?
Avodah. Either Avodah or Korbanot, but I think Avodah.
Maybe here's a
The Tosfot asks a question. He says, "Hilchetalim Shihah." So how do? Right, the Emoraim are paskening. They don't have a Beit HaMikdash, so we need to pasken whether the Kohen Gadol does come back or not. On the other Gemara, they said, "What's the halacha?" He said, "When Moshe Rabbeinu will come, he'll tell us."
Right. When we get the
Moshe and Haron and the Nisi'im, they'll tell us. So what do we need? What do you need halacha about Kohen Gadol for? So Tosfot says, Tema, Hilchetalim Shicha, Dechayagavna Parich Bezvachim Perek Bet Shammai Perek Dal Mito. Shlomad, Ikanaf Kamina Afilu Bizman Hazeh, Leparnas Hamumnei Al Tzibur. Guy is the president of the community. Ve'avar Mehamat Onis, and he wasn't feeling well. So he was in the hospital, they appointed a substitute. Shekeshi'avor ha'ones chozer l'siriruto. The first guy goes back. The gam noagim kavod b'sheni, but the second guy also gets kavod, like they did with the Kohen Gadol. They don't totally put him down. Ki yahu ma'aseh Rabban Gamliel v'Rebbi ben Azariah. That when they took down Rabban Gamliel, they put Rabbi Elazar. When they took down Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, they still gave him kavod. You gave him 1 week. Vayde perek kamad de ta'anit. The pasik Rabban Gamliel da'amar. That's really also another question.
Very interesting. So you need to know so you could apply it to something that has nothing to do with it.
Right. The Rambam, Perek Aleph, Gimel. עבר יום הכיפורים, הראשון חוזר לעבודתו, והשני עובר, וכל מצוות כהונה גדולה עליו, אלא שאין עובד ככהן גדול. ואם עבד, עבודתו כשרה, ואם מת הראשון, זה השני מתמנה תחתיו. It is exactly the Gemara.
What's the status between them? I mean, Aleph is there, but it's not Kohen Gadol, it's not Kohen Gadol. What's the status? There's no...
He's a Kohen Gadol that's not working, a non-active Kohen Gadol.
So theoretically, he could do Kohen Gadol work for 4 begadim.
He cannot be Kohen Gadol.
Kohen Gadol is not active. What's the question of the Gemara?
So if the Kohen gets pasul on Yom Kippur, he doesn't come in?
He explains it better. Listen to this. Listen, Mari Kurko says, Have Yaleh Tzara Mechayim, not he was a Tzara Mechayim. Mechila. Have Yaleh, it will make him Tzara Mechayim. Why? Mepeneh Sheyeh Kemo Tzara. She'll be like the co-wife. She'omeret Zu Mitzapeh Matai Amut. The Kohen Gadol is going to hate him. Why? He says, this guy's waiting for me to move.
So you can get in.
Yeah. He'll make him. He's going to hate him.
That was the first Kohen. I let him work.
Give me a class.
So don't.
They join up together.
You're not Kohen Gadol after you
Why
die.
should it be?
We're trying to make peace.
Which piece? You make it.
If you have no shot of being Kohen Gadol, you pray for the Kohen Gadol to live, right? Now that you have a shot to be the Kohen Gadol, every day you're saying, you're praying, you're saying, when is he going to die?
Because of him, I'm not Kohen Gadol.
Yeah, you lost your chair. You're going to jail.
Because of him, so I'm going to love him. I'm going to love him.
No, you're going to pray that he should die so you could get your chair back.
Well,
If he's idiot now, same thing.
even if I'm not praying, he thinks I'm praying.
The whole thing doesn't look good.
Every time he looks at me, he's upset.
Yeah,
This guy, I'm telling you, I stubbed my toe, it's him. He's shoofing me. Look how he's shoofing me.
It's a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
It's like politicians when they shake hands.
Count your fingers.
Right.
Rabbanan Nami. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Afisha Heret Matkinim Lo. We're also mitaken another wife for him. And the Chachamim say, Imken en ladavar sof. Rabbanan Nami, Ha'haishi l'shema. Chachamim also Hoshesh v'shema. The Chachamim said, maybe he's going to become Tameh. So you're Hoshesh v'shema yitah. He's Hoshesh v'shema yamut. Amri l'charabanan tumah shchicha. Mita lo shchicha. Tumah happens. Mita much harder to happen.
His wife's going to die?
No, his wife's going to die.
So, what's the problem?
We don't have to be Hoshesh. It's not shachiyah. Amru lo imken en ladavar sof. So they told him, if you Hoshesh for such a rare occurrence that the wife's going to die in Yom Kippur, you have no end. Rabbi Yehuda Amar Lecha, Lemita dehada haishina. For one to die, you're right. Lemita tarteh. Two should die. That's crazy odds. One dying is 1 in 1,000. Two dying is 1 in 1,000,000. I'm choshesh only for 1 in 1,000.
The whole village gets wiped out.
V'Rabbanan, I'ika lemechash. If you're gonna for something so rare, afilu lemita detren chayshin. Then what's the difference between 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,000,000? V'Rabbanan, it's like buying 2 lotto tickets. Right? You went from 1 in 500 million to 1 in 300 million. Hazal Baruch.
One could give the other one.
I love when people buy
Jack,
30 lotto
I
tickets.
think odds still stay the same.
Yeah.
Wow, you don't think it's better?
If what, you buy 2? No.
Odds.
Oh, it's 2 in 300 million.
It's not even.
It's got to be 2 in 300 million. If it was
It's one out of.
no, if the first one is 1 in 300 million, the second one is 2 in 300 million.
But
I have
you
two
just
sets
made
of
it,
numbers.
you just made it 300 million in one.
No, then I'll just split the prize less. They say you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning twice on your birthday.
Go buy a lot.
Go buy a lot of tickets.
V'Rabbanan, Neimru inu lenafshayhu. Tell yourself, if you choshesh that the tumah is going to come, So then maybe the tumas can hit both the kohen and the skan. Amri Rabbanan. No, by us there's a sivara to it. Watch. Kohen Gadol Zarizu. The Kohen Gadol is careful not to become Hamer. Says Izarizu, Lama Matkinin Kohen Acher. What do you have to put another Kohen for? Says no. Kivan Da'avdinan Letzara. When we put the other guy that could be Kohen Gadol, so he's even more careful. He says, if I make a bad step, he's being the Kohen Gadol. He makes sure that he does everything to stay down. Look at Rashi. Zarizu, v'nishmar min hatumah, aval mita en mesura biyado. Says the Gemara, umi. That's it. Umi sagile betakantad beto. Meaning, so you can't say that by the biuda that he puts the second wife so the first wife will stay alive. She's trying to do that anyway, and the second wife is not going to make her more alive, and it's not, she has a heart attack. It's not up to her. Says the Gemara, Umi sagile betakantad beto. Does it help at all to make a second wife? Why? Beto amara hamana. Behach lav betohu. Says you have a second Kohen Gadol on the side, right? Even if he's not a Kohen Gadol. When the time comes, I make him the Kohen Gadol. No problem. Says, but the wife, you have another G staying over there. He says, she's not his wife. When the first one dies, he's going to marry on Yom Kippur. It's not so convenient.
Not to marry two before that?
Wait. Right now, if Kohen Acher Matkinim means you have him waiting, so Isha Matkinim says, this is the lady that's here to marry the Kohen Gadol
if she died,
in case the first one dies, right?
You can't make Kiddushin on Yom Tov anyway.
Right.
Can't do beyond Yom Kippur either.
That's for sure. Says the Gemara, and if he does, he's tameh and he can't do that with that.
Right. He's not married either.
Rashi betakanta behazmana. If you set her aside, it's not going to help. Says Gemara, beto amar hamana valach beto. Mekadesh la. You make the kiddushin before Kippur. Before Kippur, I marry her. No, I'm not. I give a kiddushin.
You married two?
What?
You married two?
Technically, you married 91. What?
Now he's married to
Wait. Says Gemara, veha kama de lo kanis la lav betohi. Until he makes nisuin, until he moves in with her, she's not his wife. She's the kanisla. So he makes nisuin. Imken have.
He does yichud l'shem.
Yichud l'shem nisuin. He doesn't have to be biyah, but he makes yichud.
No, but he doesn't even have a thing that biyah gomer.
He doesn't need biyah. He just needs yichud.
Doesn't have that biyah.
Yichud hara'ui lebiyah.
What happened now? He's married two wives. That's it, whole year. Wait, divorce her?
No, he uses her for next year.
He asks a question. The Ritva says, what's the problem? He says, say, if she dies on Yom Kippur, he'll make Kiddushin on Yom Kippur. Says the Ritva, he says, you're right, but midrabanan, you're not allowed to make Kiddushin on Yom Tov. So we're talking on the Drabanan level. On the Drabanan level.
But this is tzorech.
What about kanis? You'll be lacking that.
What?
You'll be lacking kanis.
So the Ritva says, he says, and even if you want to say on the Doraita level, it's not going to work. Because what happens? Here he is, he's in the Kodesh HaKodashim, right? And he's busy, and he's going out to get the dam, and all of a sudden they tell him, by the way, your wife just over. Now he's got to go make Kiddushin to the other lady and have Yichud. It's not the right time.
What about the fact that he's on in? That doesn't matter?
But
No.
it's
We'll talk about it.
he needs it, even though it's the Rabbanan, the Kiddushin Asur b'Yom Tov, but he needs it letzorech Yom Tov.
Say that, but it's Asur. He said,
maybe they don't tell him.
So therefore, even though the Oraita, maybe we could have left it like that. No, the Ritva gives two answers. Either we don't need to be over the Rabbanan, so why should we? We'll see why. B, he says it's not convenient. If the guy's in the middle of the Kodesh Kodashim, you make him go out.
Rabbi, you're not going to tell him. He's going to be married before.
It's pasul.
You know, he's going to be married from before. He's not going to know the first one died, and life goes on. We'll tell him tonight.
We're not talking about before.
No, he's asking, don't make the Kedushin before. Tell him to make Kedushin on Yom Kippur.
That's a problem.
Okay.
I'm saying the other way.
Says the
What's the
Gemara.
problem? Anyway, all the Avodah with the Dash, he's doing fire, he's doing things, I don't know what he's doing over there.
That's Tocher.
Okay, this is part of the...
Not part of the Avodah.
Why?
You're supposed to be prepared from before. I never said that. So Gemara, the Ritva said, hey, we don't stand be Mehalel Yom Tov and the Rabbanan. What, then he can smoke too?
Listen,
I need it.
No,
you don't understand. Do you know the pressure going into the Kodesh Kodeshim? Hey guys, shake it. I need one.
You realize,
you speak to this guy, he can't do that.
It's really There's no Achal Nefesh on Yom Kippur.
No one's allowed to be in the Kodesh Kodeshim when he goes in. He has it stashed under the menorah.
The thing is, the smoke alarm doesn't go off anyway.
Rabbi, there's no Achal Nefesh on Yom Kippur.
There's a Gemara. Says the Gemara, so the Kanisla. So you make Nisuim before Yom Kippur. So I'm ken Havale Shte Batim. ורחמנה אמר וכיפר בעדו ועד ביתו ולא בעד שתי בתים.
What's it going to say? Batim? That is beto is plural.
No, beto is singular.
It's plural.
It's singular.
It could be plural.
Batav.
Beto, abayit shelo. It could be many.
Says the Gemara. Says the Gemara. The Hadar. The Hadar megaresh la. So he's megaresh. He marries her and he divorces her. Says imegaresh la, if he divorces her, hadra kushyan leduchta. Then he still only has one wife, and if the first one dies, he doesn't have anybody. Says Gemara, lo tzricha, the megaresh la al tonight. Right? He makes it tonight. The amar la. Now, the Gemara is gonna give a bunch of very not workable solutions, and Rashi tells you, don't get nervous, nothing is going to work, we're just sort of flexing. I don't know. We'll read it inside. Says Gemara de megaresh la al tenai. The amar la hareze gitech al menat shetamuti. This is you get if you die.
To who? To the first one?
Either one.
When does it chal?
Look at minute before she. No. It's chal now. Hareze gitech al menat is now sham. If right, then she's divorced from now.
So it's never onen, yani.
No, look in Rashi. Look in Rashi. Onen is not a problem. Al menat shetamuti biyom kippurim. If you die on Kippur, ve'em meta bo bayom. If she dies that day, nimtza get lemafreya. Turns out that she was divorced. Ve'en kan ela bayit echad. So he only has one wife. Ve'em lo meta, if she doesn't die, umeta haverta, and a friend dies, nisharaz lo zot. She stays married. Because since she didn't die, she's not divorced. She'ena get. Ve'kol sugya zot, en tirutzim sheba yecholim la'amod. All these answers don't work. Ki yesh lahem teshuvot rabot. There's a lot of problems with every answer we're going to give. Ve'eno ela ki melamdin otanu. The sugya is teaching us maybe like this, maybe like that. Ki melamdim. Ve'em tomar ken, yesh lashiv ken. Ve'eno mesh. If you would say like this doesn't work. If you say like this, we're just figuring out how it would work. Ve'eno meshiv kol teshuvot sheyesh lashiv. They're not saying all the answers you can ask on every one of these because there's a lot. Once you have one problem with it, he throws it out. It gets so funny. Tosfot doesn't even like what Rashi's saying that they're just shooting. He says like this: right, the metaretz is meant what the Gemara is going to say. Meaning the guy that gave the answer actually thought about what he's saying. Don't think he didn't. Right? The lehada amar hareh zegitech al menat shelo tamut havertech, ulhada amar hareh zegitech al menat sheikanes lebeit haKnesset. Ela shebala tamud lo masik lemilta. The guy said al tenai, and the Gemara didn't understand what tenai he meant. Shel metaretz vehaolech umedakdek befirush lemilta. The Gemara is working out which tenaim will work and which one won't. So let's see inside.
So it's really one conversation with two Amoraim, and we're just trying to understand the conversation?
Something like that. So the Gemara says the Megara Shlal tonight. The Amara Charez Gitech Almanat Shetamuti. Says the Gemara. So what's that gaining? That if she dies and I need the first one, so I didn't have the second one the whole Kippur, because if she dies any time on Kippur, it turns out that she was never married to me. Oh, she was not. She was always divorced from before. So Gemara Vidilma.
Make a kiddushin almana.
Good question. I don't know. Vidilma lo maita. We have a long way to go for Gedula. Vidilma lo maita. Maybe she's not going to die. V'havya lesh nebatim. If she doesn't die, I'm married to two. Se'ela da amarla. Harez gitech al menat shelo tamuti. If you don't die, this is you get. Ilo meita. Megar shala. If she doesn't die, she's divorced, and now I don't have two wives. What? No. I'm starting again. We're saying, he said, I tell her, Harez gitech al menat shelo tamuti. Right? So if she doesn't die, now I have two wives. This takes her out. So now I only have one wife.
Who's he giving shelo tamuti to?
The second one. Al menat shelo tamuti. Says Gemara, Ilo meta, if she doesn't die, Megar shala, she's divorced. Says Gemara, V'imetaha, and if she dies, Hakai mahach, have the first one. So it's good. I say, Harez gitech al menat shelo tamuti. If she doesn't die, which I'm sure she's rooting for, so he only has one wife. And if she does die, he still has the first wife. Again, he only has one wife. Says Gemara, of course it doesn't make sense. So what you take her for? No matter what you do, you never, either she's you took her so that she should die or be divorced.
But you took an Naim with the second one, Rabbi.
One tonight.
Makes sense.
Also.
We threw that tonight out.
Nothing's getting rid of the first lady.
So Gemara, Vidilma hi lo meta. Maybe Vidilma hi lo meta. Maybe she won't die. Maybe the second one won't die. The first one will die. Now I don't have a wife. If one of you dies, this is a gift. This is metaha. If this one dies, hakai mahach, the first one is there. Metaha hakai mahach, this one is there. Says Gemara, what do you mean? That doesn't make sense. How does that work? Almenat shetamut ahat mikem metaha.
So then the divorce applies to you. If this one dies, then the divorce applies to the other one.
I don't see anyone changing.
You don't see the Hagel Gasina?
He's not changing it.
Gimel? It says Lo Gasina, the Lo Gasina. I got some Chamed, whatever his name
No swal you did Talmudim. Metaha kaimahach. If she dies, the other one is there.
But if she dies, she has to die as a single person, not as a...
V'dilma lo maita. Maybe no one will die. V'lo hada minayu. V'hav yoleh shnei batim. If nobody dies, then he has two wives. Ve'od, another problem.
But the Tana is making, if he doesn't die, the first and the second one is Gerusha for Erev Kippur.
Very interesting.
That's why he has only one.
No, I don't know what it's doing for you. If one of you dies, you're divorced.
If not,
so if the other one dies and she's divorced, he has nobody. Says Gemara, I don't know why you say v'duma lo ma'ita v'lo hada, and you'll have two. If one of them dies, you have none. You didn't get anything. V'tu, and another problem. V'od ki hay gavna mihave gita al menat shetamuti, on condition that you die, or al menat shetamuti hamekim is it a get v'amar Rabba Rashi ki hay gavna. If it's depending on her life, miyav you get. This is you get on the condition that you don't drink wine. My whole life, and your whole life ends a kiritut. Why? Because since the katavla sefer kiritut, you have to cut yourself off from her. If you're still controlling her through the get, meaning she can't drink wine her whole life, so you never, at no point in her life are you cut off from each other.
always habitat.
I'm always holding the wine over her. And if that, so that's not kiritut. But kesef for kiritut, you have to be not connected.
What about the fact that he's going to die before her and she...
Kol yemei hayai, kol yemei hayeh piloni. That guy's life, harez kiritut, because maybe he'll die before. But if I say all of your life, then at no time in your life are you going to be able to have kids. And if I die first, anyway, my whole life, we were never separated.
I have no control once the guy is dead.
But we were never separated in my life.
So you have to be separated during their life together.
Rashi, kol yemei hayeh, en ze kiritut, sharei kol yemei hayeha keshurabo, va'anan kiritut ba'inan. Kol yemei hayeh piloni, harei ze kiritut, v'tinaseh la'acher. Why? Nitat ploni, וגם מהיום הוא גט. שם קלקלה, אין כאן חיוב אשת איש. Rashi says, if he says, הרי זה גיתך על מנת שימות פלוני. Ploni's going to die. Right? Right? But she's not allowed to get married. She's not allowed to get married the whole time.
He does.
The case is not. The case is that you can't drink wine as long as he's alive. So we won't let her get married as long as he's alive. Why? Maybe she'll drink wine. But if she did have zenut, she'll be patur because so far she hasn't drunk. But over here where I'm saying harez gitech al menat shetamut ahat mikem, so that's not a kiritut because it's not cutting her off in her life. There's no kiritut there. Ela the amar la harez gitech al menat shelo tamut chavertech. This is your get if the other one doesn't die. So now it's good. If the other one doesn't die, so I have the first wife. The second wife is gone. I only have one. If the first one dies, I'm married to her. It's great. Says Gemara. Vidilma.
In lo tamut, we're saying now?
No.
She doesn't die, this is your gift?
Yes, if the first one does it, if the first one makes it through Kippur,
you're divorced.
You're divorced. You're divorced.
From now.
Divorced from now. Right. But if the first one dies, then you're still my wife. So either way, I have a wife. Now I'm safe. Right? Says Gemara.
What if the one you're giving it to dies?
Okay.
The other one's your wife.
Other one's my wife.
Oh, you're married to both?
I'm married to both before. Whichever one dies, I have the other one. Says Gemara
What
Vidilma.
happened with this lady? She got divorced after. She's given a shot. She can't marry any Kohen.
Okay.
So you have to make the same
She's
deal
willing
with
to
the
take that thing. I'm the.
You have to make the same deal with the second one, no?
It says with the second one. You're not making the deal.
You're not making the deal with the second one also?
He only
making the deal with the second one.
He's making the deal with the second one. Right now he's
You're
making.
not making the deal?
No, for what? I'm good. Wait, Yossi. Says Gemara, Vidilma Maita Haberta Bepal Gada Avoda. Maybe wife number one dies in the Kodesh Kodeshim.
Who is there? Yes, sir.
V'iglai milta lemafreya de Gita de halav Gitahu. Right? It comes out that this one is divorced.
Wait, what's going on? What's happening?
He gave her a get. He gave the second one a get. Almanada, the first one doesn't die. But if the first one dies, then it's not a get. Now, you think life is neat, and the first one is going to conveniently die before it's time. Now it's time for the avodah. If you're alive, you better stay alive till the end of the day. She's not participating in that plan, and she decides to die right in the middle of the avodah. So now what comes out is that the first one,
half of the avodah.
So now there's no get. There's no get for the second one. So it comes out that until that point, everything he did, he had two wives.
He was married to this lady.
Because it comes, the first one is not divorced, and the second one is not divorced.
At the
So,
time that they died,
so for the
there's
first-
a transfer.
no, what transfer? What
Half of the
transfer?
avodah, he was married.
Stevie, he married her before Kippur, right?
She died before.
And he told her, if my first wife does not die, then you're divorced. But now the first wife did die. So he's married to her. Now, when was he married to her from?
In the middle of Kippur.
No, he got married to her yesterday. He got married. So he's been married to wife number 2 the whole day. And wife number 1, he was married from the beginning of the day until Hatzot. So it comes out that from the beginning of the day until Hatzot, he had 2 wives. No good. Right? Ve'avad le'avoda b'shnei batim. So that's not
Unless
working.
you get married by Shalat.
He got married yesterday. He got married yesterday. Ela de'amar la harei ze gitech al menat shetamut chavertech. This is you get if she dies. So if she dies, then I won't be married. So maybe the friend will die. And it's a get. Gita daha gita v'kamle below. By then he has nobody. It's not working either. Ela de megarish lehu letarvayu. He divorces both of them. Lehad amar, to one he says, Harei ze gitech al menat shelo tamut chavertech. This is your get if your friend doesn't die. Ulahad amar, and the other one he says, Harei ze gitech al menat shelo tikansi lebet haKnesset. On the condition that you don't go into the shul. So one I put in Hashem's hands, and one I put in my hands. Watch. Right? Look in Rashi. Shilo tikanesi b'yom kippurim lebet haKnesset. So we say.
So the first one we're going to leave the same like last case.
Yes.
And then with the second one we're telling her if you don't.
Says the Gemara. We're going to understand it in a minute. V'dilma lo ma'ita havirta. Maybe the friend won't die. V'lo aylahi lebet haKnesset. Meaning, if you're giving it, whichever one doesn't die, right? What's the thing? If almenat shelo tamut chavirte, almenat shelo. If the one of them he says, if your friend doesn't die, this is a gift. So she's automatically out. And the other one he's giving the get. Almenat shelo tikansi lebet haKnesset. So maybe one that's supposed to die doesn't die. So what do I need? Now I have two wives. So I have to tell the other one to walk into shul. And when the other one walks into shul, she'll be divorced.
Like an emergency button.
If I wind up having two, you walk into shul, you'll be divorced. So she doesn't want to be divorced. So she wanted with it. Now I have two batim. So then both of them are going to be a get.
Because one didn't die and one didn't walk. And one.
Oh, this is your get if you don't walk into shul. So if she doesn't walk into shul, she's divorced too.
Yeah, they just won't let her in.
Says the Gemara, "V'kamle below bayit." No, if she doesn't walk in, she's divorced.
We want her to be divorced?
No, we want her to stay. We need her to walk in when the first one
doesn't get died.
When the first one doesn't die.
When she doesn't die? End of the day?
She dies. You need her to die.
No, the first one is a get if she doesn't die. If the second one doesn't die, right? We give the second one a get if the first one doesn't die.
Right.
And the second one, now what's the problem? We give the first one a get if the second one doesn't die. One second. So if she dies in the middle of the avodah, no, how does it work? If she dies, if I give it to her almenat shelo tamut chavertech, so I give it to her so your friend doesn't die. Now, if the friend doesn't die, so now the first one is divorced.
But if she died after the middle of the avodah, we say that half a day he's married to two. That's what we said before.
Maybe if the get won't be a get if she dies if you walk in.
I just lost the first one. Hold on.
Why this one they both can be divorced?
They're going to both be divorced? Right. Because the first one gets divorced because the second one didn't die. And the second one gets divorced because she didn't walk into the shul. Now he has no batim. So the plan was, if the first one dies, the second one walks into shul. and then she stays married. Well, that's what we say. We tell the first one you have a get if the second one doesn't die. The second one we say, second one is going to be divorced automatically. Why? Because if the first one stays alive, I don't need her. But if I see the first one dies in the middle of the avodah, then I have a walk-in, and this way she stays married. Says the Gemara.
Stevie was married half a day with two. Because the Kiddushin happened before.
No, because the second one doesn't die. The second one doesn't die. The first one is now divorced from the morning, from yesterday. Because the second one doesn't die, the first one wound up being divorced from the morning.
You don't let her walk in.
And then I make a walk in. If the first one I make a walk in. Says Gemara v'dilma lo ma'ita havirta v'lo aylahi lebeta knesset. How are you going to let her be in control? Maybe she won't walk in and she'll be divorced too. V'avala gita detarayu gita v'kamla below bay. Ela lehada amar harez gitech al menat shelo tamut havirtech. You're divorced if your friend doesn't die. Ulehada amar, and to one of them he says, harez gitech al menat shi kanes ani lebeta knesset. If I go into the shul today, you're divorced. The imaitaha, if the second one dies, kaimaha, the first one is still there. The imaitaha, if the first one dies, ha kaimaha, the second one is there. Ma'ika lemeimar, dilma maita havirta bepalga da'avodah. What are you going to say? Maybe one of them is going to die in the middle of the avodah. Va'avid le'avodah lemafreya b'shnei batim. In the first half of the avodah, he had two wives. Ihazila dekabai lemeimat. When he sees that she's going to die in the middle of the avodah, kadim ihu, he goes ve'ayil lebeta knesset, he goes into the shul, umashve gitat leha gita lemafreya, and he makes this one's get to get lemafreya, so he only has one wife.
How do you know she's going to die?
He sees she's croaking. I don't even think it has to be that he does it before. I don't think it has to be before. What's the difference?
Rabbi, at the end of the day, somebody has to die. Is that it?
Who's dying? If I see.
By the time I walk in, she's not there.
Problem start when they die. If they don't die, divorce. Something happens. If nobody dies, good, because his get and they die. If somebody dies, it's the problem, because two ladies are married at the same time.
I don't see how you fix the problem.
Yeah, I don't see that's why I'm still against Rabbi.
How do you fix the half of the that problem? I did.
How?
Because I gave her a get, right? If she's gonna die, what's the problem? It's only a problem on the one that I said.
If she died. If she died in the middle of the avodah, that's what
Which one is dying? The one that I said.
First one. This first
one you told her, this is your get if your friend doesn't die.
That's easy.
Right. So now, if her friend dies at any time in the day,
then she's my wife.
Then she's still married to me.
Yes. And if she dies.
Now, 1 second. So now, she's still married. Now, if the friend dies, bipalga da avodah, right?
Right.
Then I was married to two. I was married to two half a day.
Because you're married to two half a day, and then the one becomes your wife in the middle of the day.
No, so then, meaning if I tell A, if your friend doesn't die, this is a get, right? But now your friend is dying, so it's not going to be a get. But your friend dies in the middle of avodah, so you've been married to A and B for till chatzot. Says the Gemara. Well, B has a get that if I go into shul, she's divorced from the morning. So when I see B dying, I walk into shul. So now B is out. B was never married to me.
Why when you see B dying? When the avodah starts, you have to walk into shul.
No.
Yeah, because
whenever I walk into shul, the get goes back from the beginning.
Whenever you walk
the get is dated yesterday. If I walk into shul, she's divorced from yesterday. So therefore, when I see that B is going to die, B is my problem. The dying one is my problem because she's going to wind up having to me on top of the one that's going to stay married to me all day. So I have to kiss the dying one. So what do I do? No, but she was alive for half of the avodah. So I walk into shul before she dies. She's divorced from the morning. That's all. Those were asked, why did she have to die before? And he answers, okay, that's it. Says the Gemara, maybe the bee is going to die bepalga da avodah. That until B's death, he's going to have shne batim. If they see that she's going to die, kadim iul, he runs. The ayel beta knesset, he goes into the shul. He makes B divorce from the morning, and now he's been married to only A all day.
Because if she walks in, then B's divorced from the morning.
If he walks in, B's divorced from the morning. Ela me'ata, now that you doresh bayit ehad velo shte batim, ela me'ata shte yibamot haba'od mibat bayit ehad lo yityabemu. Because it says asher lo yivne et petach bayit ehad hu boneh ve'eno boneh shne batim. Now you can't be miyabem two wives from the same house. But shte yibamot haba'od me'adam echad shaya lo shte nashim. If in that case, lo tityabem afilu ahat mehen. Ta bayit echad ketiv, and this guy has two batim. Says Gemara, yivimto riba. The Torah wrote yivama a lot of times to teach you that even if he has a lot of yivamot, he's oleh liyibu. Mat kifla ravina v'itemer rav shriva ela me'ata arusa lo tityabem. You said that in order to be betor, she has to be a nisuah. Right? And you said arusa is not beto. So then arusa lo tityabem, because it says asher lo yivnei bet achiv, mashman if she's in nisuah. And we hold afilu arusa mityabemet. Says the Gemara, hachutza amarket hachutza lirabot et arusa. It says lo tehe eshet hamet hachutza liish zar. So we doresh the eshet hamet who lives chutza. Who's the eshet hamet who's legally married to him but she lives chutza? That's an arusa. Didn't yet move in with him. Says the Gemara. Look at Rashi. Arusa lo tityabem. Daha bayit ketiv. Ve'at amar el kol kama dolo kanis la alav beitahu. We say no problem. We have a special ribui. Now the Gemara asks the question. Tanu Rabbanan. Kohen gadol makriv onen ve'en ochel. The Kohen gadol, even when he's onen, he's allowed to be makriv, but he doesn't eat. Look at Rashi. Makriv onen. The Rahmana Sharye. The Torah allowed him to be makriv dechtiv la'aviv ulimo lo yitamma. U'men ha'mikdash lo yetze ve'lo yihalel. Don't leave the mikdash, meaning be makriv, and you won't be mehalel the avodah. Right? Darshin b'shchitat kadashim bemet aviv ve'immo. That don't leave. Ve'eno tzarich latzet mikdushato. He doesn't leave his kedusha. Klal. Liot omed u'makriv. He stays. He's makriv. Ki lo hilel avodoto bekach. He won't be mehalel the avodah. U'minei yafinan hakohen ediot shelo yatzav. The Kohen Gadol was makriv onen hilel posel the avodah. Ve'eno ochel shelo hutra kan el avodah. It was only matir avodah. Lo yetzeh min hamikdash, meaning from his avodah. Ve'kadashim asurim lo onen. Kal v'chomim ma'aser hakal. She'amra Torah lo achalti be'onim mimenu.
Why the Kohen eats the korban on Yom Kippur?
No.
So what korban are we talking about?
In general, Kohen Gadol is always makriv onen.
Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon, his father passed away. He's makriv. Do the korban. You're not an onen.
He's not hayab though to do the korban.
But he could.
He could.
But he can't eat. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Kol hayom. Kol hayom what? My kol hayom. Amar Rabba. Amar Rabba. Lo netzrecha ela lahavi'o mitoch beto. Bring him from his house. Rashi. Mitzvah hi sheyavi'o lemikdash la'avod kol hayom kidei lefacheach tza'aro. Calm him down. Not only is he mutar, make him work all day to take his mind. He can't have his mind in avilut. He has to be happy with that. Put him to work. Best thing for him. Says Gemara, Amalei Abaye Hashta Rabbi Yehuda. Afuke mafkinan le. According to the Yehuda, we take him out of the avodah. The Tanya Haya Omer Makriv Agabe Mizbech Kohen Gadol. Veshama Shemet Lomed Maniach Avodato v'Yotzei Devrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi Omer Yigmor, because he's a Kohen Gadol. So Rabbi Yehuda says take him out of the middle. Rabbi Yossi says let him finish avodah, because he's not mechalel. Ata Amar Maitina let me talk beto. You think we're going to bring him from his house?
The whole thing's kula, right? The whole thing is heter, like. Now you want to bring
Rashi doesn't learn like me. Rashi learns that Rabbi Yehuda fuke mafkinan le to a kohen idiot if he's an onen, even if he started the avodah. So you see, he's more mahmir. Rabbi Yossi says let him finish. So who's more mahmir by aninut? Rabbi Yehuda. So why would he be more mekel than the chachamim tell you bring it out of his house? Ela amar Rava, my kol hayom lomar she'en oved kol hayom. Don't let him work all day. Gezerah shem yochal. Why? Because we're afraid once he's in the regular swing of avodah, he's going to eat.
Does the case where the what's her name doesn't walk into the room, or she does walk into the room? When she does walk into the room,